I've put this up here, it's a social media account, so that you can see the seconds. And when it gets to 300 seconds, I've been speaking for 5 minutes, so make sure you throw something at me. And while I'm speaking, just ignore the fact that all these YouTube videos are going up. All these people are joining Facebook, Flickr photos, money spent on Facebook gifts, iPhone apps downloaded. Because I'm in broadcast mode, so just ignore what they're doing. Because I only have 5 minutes, I really wanted to, I guess, look at are journalists doing social media better? But I dropped off the better and went at all. Because I feel that piggybacking off of online communities and using their stories and their content as stories for mainstream to sell papers and to get viewership of TV programs is probably not the best use of social media as far as the community is concerned. And occasionally I see tweets and Twitter being used that way. Some random tweet gets misinterpreted and turned into a third of a page of a broadsheet. And then it occurred to me, maybe that's what journalists do. They take our stories from our communities and they listen and they stay apart from the community. And then they write that story or they present that story back to people who haven't heard the story yet. I'm not saying that independent viewpoints aren't important. But I do think that when we report our own stories, we report them in a particular way, with a particular kind of passion. I'm not so sure that all bloggers want to be journalists, wish that they were journalists, or hate journalists. I think some of them are oblivious. And I don't think the bloggers and Twitter are aware of ways that they are creating user-generated content or that they are competing. I think sometimes they're just doing things, uploading a video, taking their attention somewhere else. I do wonder if journalists are a little bit cosseted by having an editor that has a loving, guiding hand over their work, saying to them, never mind if you get something wrong. Because as bloggers, I know that my audience is pretty tough on me. And they yell and scream if I do so much as a spelling mistake on Twitter. And we call them grammar Nazis. So I think you're pretty lucky if you've got a more understanding culture. But I'd like to get back to the human narrative. Stop for a moment and think about your great-great-great-grandmother. Who was she? Do you have videos and photos of her? Do you know what she did at 17, at 35, and at 64? Do you know where she went on holiday? Now move forward in time and consider what the next generation and the next generation, the next generation will see. For the first time in human evolution, we are co-creating the human narrative together. Never again will our histories be held hostage to the victors. The people who can write the history are those that won it. Our stories will never again be forgotten, unwritten or unscribed. So you see, it's not your content, it's our content, our stories. We didn't give you the human story, we loaned it to you. And now we're going to take it back. Feel free to retire your press card, to leave the studio system that is the newspapers, and to come in and be part of the community. Not only will you survive, but I think you will thrive. Thank you.